We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, people acolytes, we take a look at this. And what we have here from Garden of Eatin, it is the Red Hot Blues. And from Garden of Eatin, I've also done their Wicked Hot. I forget what it was. Some sort of chip. You can look through the playlist, which has all the chips and crisps in it, if you care to do that. And so the idea here is hot blue corn chips, apparently. We have what looks like a jalapeno. So I will get to the story of why I'm doing this here momentarily, but first we're going to do our usual thing and look for heat. And I see none. I see nothing approaching heat actually at all. Like at all. There's not natural seasonings or flavors or anything there. Alright, so obviously these are not going to be as hot as the Wicked Hot, whatever they were. And here's the reason I'm doing these. So a friend of mine who knew I like spicy stuff. This is oh man, this has got to be 15, 20 years ago, before I had a blog, before I'd even conceived of that idea of having a hot sauce blog or chasing super hots or any of that. So quite some time ago now. And she knew I like spicy stuff. So this is one that she mentioned. And this is, I think, you can see there's a lot of coating on this. I think this is a chip that people who are not chili heads suggest as something that's hot, for what that's worth. And I say this because I looked on a number of top 10 lists and spicy foods list, because for the past couple of years, particularly 2020 and 2021, not as much this year, but those prior 2 years, because I was looking at fleshing out the FOH non-sauce content. And so I would scour the web for stuff that I hadn't come across yet. Now, I hadn't done that before because I wasn't doing snacks on the blog that was just for hot sauces. Now it's kind of good to get an idea of what the state of the industry is, which is why I say that we're in another chili head phase with a lot of restaurants and different commercial entities. But, so for those 2 years, and I was looking at everything, and this would come up, this particular chip would come up fairly frequently on hot, spicy snack food and that sort of thing, that sort of list. These have been around a long time, and they might be one of the OGs of the spicier side of things, kind of like, I suppose you could say, the Flamin' Hot nonsense is. And that's another one, of course, that comes up on this list. So the list I take with a pretty substantial grain of salt. Takis are on there a lot. Takis really have a very strong citric acid bite and little heat, as far as I'm concerned. So the reason I'm doing these, I don't expect these to be hot. I'm not even sure they're going to be good. But the reason I'm doing them is because they happen to be on sale at the grocery store, and I ran across them. And I kind of had them as a back burner just because so many people mentioned it and I saw it so often online. That is, I think, more my impetus here than me expecting anything either good or particularly spicy. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get to it. They have a weird flavor. I can't quite quantify it. It really tastes a lot like just corn chips. Whoop. There's a lot of seasoning on here, but it's very mild. I guess they did have spices, just a blanket spices, which I assume is where the heat element is. I had hoped it would at least taste like jalapeno based on the pepper here. I love red jalapenos. That's probably my favorite jalapeno, actually. Actually, it's my favorite kind of pepper, I think, in general. Bell peppers, red's my favorite. Jalapeno. Red's my favorite. Habanero. Red's my favorite. There is... so these are not spicy so far. I'm going to do the usual thing and see if we can't get a little burn out of this. Let's whip through this. Alright, I'm pulling the plug. They are relatively clean, but there's no heat here. This is just me eating chips that have a fairly neutral flavor to them. The flavor is not offensive, it's just very, very light. There's really nothing there. So I think these might be good to make some chilaquiles, or possibly I'll just make a plate of nachos, or I guess there's enough in here for 2 plates of nachos. I can't say they're hot though. I'm not even getting any sort of a spice hit at all. There's a little bit of a bitterness to it. I'm assuming that's from the powder, but I guess it could be from the corn also. I don't know. I don't ever get blue corn chips. Not bad. I mean, it's relatively inoffensive, I guess. Calling these red hot is silly. They're not. They're neither red nor hot. So, about as expected, really. These don't even get a default one, they get a nothing. They remind me, actually, if you've ever had the restaurant style tortilla chips where they have that sprinkling of red dust on them, which, by the way, I like quite a bit. This is kind of reminds me of those. So I guess I could make a nice bean dip. Bean dip is always good with those types of chips. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. As far as by themselves, these are dissatisfying. I mean, I'm glad that they were like under $2 for the bag. That's the reason I got it. guess it's organic blue corn, and it's fine as far as a tortilla chip. But that's about where it is. So as far as anything else, like any spice, I mean, there's no chili head that's going to be satisfied with this. And eating it by itself is kind of like if you were eating plain tortilla chips by itself. Nobody does that because it's pretty dreadfully boring. So that, I think, is kind of where I'm landing on this. It probably would be good in conjunction with something else, but by itself, So anyway, there you have it. The Garden of Eatin Red Hot Blues tortilla chips. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.